Hey, welcome to the channel. This is my thoughts after playing Mass Effect. First off, I want to start off by saying I want to have a clean, intelligent conversation with my viewers, subs, or whatever. If you disagree with me, it's cool to disagree, but let's have a conversation about the disagreement. Let's not have, anything devolve into an argument or name calling. Let's have a civilized adult conversation because this is just a game and this is just my opinion. Okay, with that out of the way, I want to say this. Mass Effect is not a bad game. I simply just don't think I enjoyed it as much as other people. I I just didn't really nothing really clicked with me with this game. One of the first things that kind of stuck out to me was the story, and a lot of people like kind of hold this up as, the best thing about the game, but I saw a lot of plot holes. One of the first things that like bothered me was the introduction of the Asari and how they can do the mind melding. And there's an Asari on the council that you never meld with, even though that would be the golden solution to 90% of the conflict in this game. And what's even more like jarring is you can come back for the second time with Layara and she won't even suggest it, or she won't even say what she's seen when she's melded with you. It's just really stupid, and it feels like they engineered a conflict just for the sake of engineering a conflict. It's the same thing with Arachni. Like, even if you get the codex, you're still just as clueless as everyone else in your party when you finally get there. And Rex wanting to kill them, being adamant about their destruction, but not knowing what they look like, is another plot hole. It's just like a lot of inconsistencies in the writing. It's not strong. I could do a whole video on this, but I want to actually focus on the entire game. So I'm gonna try to like minimize my issues with the story. Another thing I don't understand about the story is how fast Talia got the recording of Saren. I mean, if you look at it, she literally got the recording. It had to be like what, within an hour of after he said it. That is just like mind blowing to me. I feel like that was a massive oversight by Bioware in the story, because it's like, especially too when she goes into the detail of what she did to get the information. It's like, and then she got to the council too. It just doesn't really seem like she could have done that in a timely manner. Also, why is the information you get from the assignment, I can't remember, I think it's UNC something, why is that information more valuable to her pilgrimage than the information she has about Saren, when both of them are pertaining to the Geth? And she even says the information for Saren is so important she had to bring to the Citadel. Next, I want to talk about the choices. Then I'm going to try to move off the writing. And I just want to say I was not impressed. The ability to choose who survives, Ashley or Caden, was just seems useless to me in the grand scheme of things. I thought you should be able to make a choice, like on Vermeer, what to do with the cure for the genophage. We should be able to side with Rex or side against him. That would have made killing him actually feel like our choice, as opposed to being punished for not having enough charm or intimidate. The last thing I'm going to say about this game's writing ties into the gameplay a little bit with the chat wheel. And the chat wheel was disappointing for me. Like, I don't really see how people could role play with it, because the choices were very restrictive. Also, you didn't say what was, presented in the text. And this is a Bioware thing, I know, and a lot of people complained about Dragon Age Inquisition, but I feel like the Mass Effect series is far worse. Like, you will say the exact same line of dialogue and it has nothing to do with what you select.
I can't let you jeopardize the mission.
So that's it. All this time, and that's all I get from you. How can you do this to destroy the hopes of my people? And I'm done with you.
I can't let you jeopardize the mission.
So that's it. All this time, and that's all I get from you. How can you not see what this means to the Krogan? This base can't be destroyed. I won't allow it.
Sarah.
And see, this also extended into the Renegade Paragon system. At times, you will have the exact same line of dialogue, regardless if you use Charm or Intimidate. This, on top of the fact that there's not much room for neutrality in the choices in this game, all detracted from the experience of the chat wheel for me. It felt like I didn't really have much of an input, and the story was super predetermined. Last thing I want to talk about is gameplay, and this is a mixed bag for me. So I'm going to talk about what I like first before I get into, what I don't like. I like the third person shooting. I like the cover system. I like the tactical commands you can give to your party. I like how they let you use their abilities also. That was actually pretty nice. I really like the variety in the weapons. They did a very good job. There's a lot of weapons that look different. They have different fire rates. They have their own different stats, etc. And I also like the upgrade system. They did a very good job here because it was far more expansive than I originally thought it was. You can upgrade your armor, your grenades, and all your weapons. It's They did a good job there. It's very nice. The issue I have though is the AI. The AI for your squad is bad at times, like really bad at times. They'll get stuck in walls, they will fire at walls, they will waste their abilities and like have everything be on cooldown when you need it the most. And then this also extends to the enemy AI. There's times where the enemy AI will just stop. They'll just stop everything and stare at you. I noticed this a lot, especially when you're sniping. I also noticed this too for some of the some of the enemies that rush you, like the Krogan or the Geth, some of the more stronger Geth. They will just rush you and stop in place. I don't really understand what's going on. It's very random. A lot of these issues are very random. I personally can't overlook them though. Also, the Mako was just absolutely horrible in my opinion. It wasn't, the controls are bad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but it wasn't even so much as the controls. It's just the core gameplay of driving the Mako is so boring and it feels so out of place. It's essentially a tank in a hybrid RPG. It's a tank that has a fixed amount of HP and a fixed amount of damage that plays like it was like snatched from a crappy action game. That's like the best way to describe it. And I also just didn't like the planets either. Like the idea is cool, the execution is horrible. Like as you see right there, I'm looking on the map. There's not much content on any of these planets. The bulk of the content is like a thresher maw. You find collectibles or you mine for minerals, and you do one quest, one simple, really fast quest, and that's it. You've done everything you need to do on the planet, and you can do all this in under 20 minutes for the vast majority of the planets. Some of them may take 30 if you're trying to get everything, and that's just from like how big it is and how long it may take you to drive or find something. But you're not really doing anything aside from like driving and fighting thresher moths. That's it. That's like the bulk of what you do with the planet exploration. It's just a waste in my opinion, and it's not fun. And it kind of goes back into the experience just being boring. I want to say this much. I've enjoyed other Bioware titles. I enjoy KOTOR, and I enjoy Dragon Age. I'm actually enjoying Mass Effect 2. I'm about 3 hours into it, so I'm not condemning all of Bioware's titles as being boring or even this entire series. I'm simply just stating that Mass Effect 1 was insanely boring to me. And a lot of that is because of the Mako. And you have to be in this thing. It's mandatory. It's interwoven into the main plot and the main missions. Like you're in the Mako by force. And it's not good. And this is what I don't understand. It's like I can't overlook this. I don't understand. And here's the thing. What's here is not good enough for me to overlook this. Like on top of that, the side quests, the assignments, they're also equally boring. They're a bunch of forgettable side quests. I can think of maybe 4 or 5 that I actually remembered and liked, and out of those 4 or 5, they were painstakingly short. I also ran into some issues with the talents and abilities. Like some of them just wouldn't work. I'm gonna show you a clip right here. But all in all, I didn't really have too good of a time with this game. I didn't really enjoy the story that much. I feel like there was a lot of things that hindered the gameplay also. So ultimately, my takeaway was not anything favorable. And I'm gonna say one more time, it's not a bad game, but it's not nearly as good as people hype it up to be. Like if my expectations would have been lower, I might have actually enjoyed the game more. But with people like hyping it through the roof, it just rose my expectations. And to see all the bugs and the issues and like how the game like truthfully just trips over its own feet, it kind of just detracted from that. And truth be told, that's why I believe I'm enjoying Mass Effect 2 so much. After playing Mass Effect 1, my expectations plummeted, and like coming into it with not expecting too much, I was like genuinely surprised. I am a little disappointed that they scaled back on the RPG elements that were like far heavier in Mass Effect 1, but that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.